Hi, I'm Bob Willbanks with Ambassadors for Business. I've had a lot of people asking me, how did Ambassadors for Business get started? And actually, I always like to tell people that when I started this back in April, what did that have been? April 2016. Uh, I like to say it was Bob's idea of what he thought God wanted him to do. And, uh, it basically for that first 6 months or so, there was a lot of low hanging fruit in the relationships that I had. And we were a for profit business that we started just strictly for connecting Christians in business to do business together more efficiently and effectively. That's all I really felt compelled to do at the time. So we get through that first 6 months, and now we're into October, and things have just kind of come to a screeching halt. There's no new memberships coming in. It's starting to feel almost kind of stale in a way. And uh, I was talking to a lot of my trusted advisors, and comments kept coming in that Bob, we really think you ought to go nonprofit. And I was fighting that quite a bit from the get go because I really felt that I didn't want to be getting into other nonprofits charitable giving side of things. And by going nonprofit and becoming a public charity, it could maybe raise the warning flags of maybe building some of those collaborations and alliances that I really felt could come from Ambassadors for Business. So I really fought against it pretty heavily, and there's a whole long backstory to it. But after I got hit over the head about 5 times, it really became evident that, you know what, I really do need to do this. And it was through that process that I really began, and I say began, to understand what God wanted me to do with this thing. And as we started trying to figure out what's our noble cause or purpose, and the discussions that ensued back and forth with the attorney and a few of my other trusted advisors, we came up with to equip Christians in business to walk boldly in faith throughout their business week while connecting them to do business together more efficiently and effectively. And I thought, you know what, I think we nailed that. It really seemed like, it was a message that I could go out there and bang the drum for. And, so I started doing that. And we put the filing in, submitted that way. And so the whole first quarter of 2017, I'm out spreading that message. And it's a little bit better. Things are going a little bit better, but not much. And I was really thinking the key to this thing unlocking is going to be getting that final determination letter from the IRS, and the positive determination will just set us on fire. So that finally comes March 28th. And my wife and I would go out to dinner, we celebrate, and the next day I'm banging the drum, I'm sending emails, I'm calling people up, and I thought, yep, this is absolutely it. Fast forward 30 days, and I'm telling you, it was like crickets. I mean, we had our worst month we'd had so far, and I have a Thursday morning Bible study that I've been doing for 4 years with Alan Smith from CBMC Northland, and I have had a group that's affiliated with CBMC, and we've been doing it for 4 years every Thursday at the Chick-fil-A in Bloomington. And going into that meeting, I can't remember if it was three or four, but I had 3 or 4 appointments that were set up after that, and I came out of that meeting, and all of them had rescheduled. And I was devastated in a way because I was looking forward to getting some new members aboard and being able to tell the story. And as I'm driving home, it just really became evident to me that God was trying to just say, look, I need to talk to you. And so I get home, and I literally shut everything down, and I went deep. I mean, I got on my knees and just started praying. Read a bunch of scripture, took a couple long walks. In fact, I looked at my phone, manages the steps and tells me how far I walk. It was 12 miles that day. I had praise music going and everything else. And by the end of the day, as I'm going to bed, I was a little bit tired, obviously, but as I'm laying down and praying, I still haven't received anything, but suddenly I found out what it meant to have that peace beyond all understanding. It was like God literally just reached out to me and just held me. And I was just enveloped in his love and his grace. And I slept like I hadn't slept in a long, long time. And that next morning, as I'm waking up, and I'm one of those guys where my eyes flutter and my feet hit the floor. I mean, it doesn't take me but just a second and I'm up. It was like I got hit over the head with the 2x4, really. And as I'm rising, it was like, bang, Bob, it's not to equip, it's equipping. And equipping is an acronym for engage, question, understand, identity, principles, purpose, integrate, network, and grow. I was dumbfounded. I literally froze in my tracks, and I know I had, my kids always say that stupid parrot face on. I know I had that kind of face because I was just dumbfounded. I'm a sharp guy, but I don't think in 9-letter acronyms. Give me, especially ones that make sense. So I go racing downstairs to my desk to write this down, and that's when it really all came forth. As ambassadors for business, we're meant to meet people where they're at, to help them engage in a more intimate relationship with Jesus Christ, so that they can ask life's big questions and gain the understanding that their identity is in Him. Once they get that, we can help them build their principles on that solid rock and foundation of the Bible, discover their true purpose in life, and begin to integrate with society as the salt and light that God intended them to be. Building out not only their network, but the network for the kingdom, the whole thing, right? And growing in all aspects of their lives. That's the why behind Ambassadors for Business. If we're out there focused on that great commission, great commandment side of things, and truly iron sharpening iron experience with each other, we're blessed then with those contacts, relationships, and business that we do that comes when we're doing God's will. And that's the biggest key. So the why behind Ambassadors for Business is all wrapped around and centered around equipping.